And Monica, I think, is planning to hop off at about 5:15, so we'll start promptly at 4:30 and try and get through as much as we can by 5:15, but no later than 5:30, hopefully. We do have folks in here around the room. We have our nameplates, but I doubt you can read them. And of course, Ebony Gordon's to my left, and she'll be, Ms. Redden, she'll be in the operations as our featured manager today.
Can we determine how many viewers from the public are?
No, because we have, it's way cross media shows it on TV. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Harding just showed up. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Good. We got a full house.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hi.
Good.
Hi, glad to hear you. Pretty soon we're going to see you.
Okay, Karen, take it away.
I'm ready. All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy hot Tuesday on this hot Tuesday here in Cincinnati. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to ask Molly, can you do a roll call for the trustees, please?
Yes. Miss Allen?
Here.
Miss Clemens?
Here.
Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Here.
Miss Conan?
Here.
Miss Redden?
Here.
Thank you.
All right. So our public comments. Paula, I'm going to go ahead and read our public comment right now. The Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library has been an integral partner since the beginning of COVID-19. The library has supported public health efforts from testing to vaccines. As we move into the next phase of vaccinations, the library will continue to be a valuable asset in helping us connect with neighborhoods and soon our youngest community members. And this is from Greg Kesterman, who is the Health Commissioner for Hamilton County Public Health. So kudos to that.
Thanks, Karen. And just for the purposes of process, do you have that paragraph that is about, letting people know how we handle the public comments?
I do. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah, just to read it into the record so people kind of get the idea what we do with those.
Got it. The Board of Trustees of the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County welcomes public input in its deliberations. The board further recognizes both the importance of public comment on issues before the board and the ability of members of the community to express their views on matters of interest to the library. We do have a full public participation policy, which includes a general 3-minute limit on comments. Please remember that public comments are for us to listen to you and your fellow community members. It is unlikely we will make any remarks immediately. We need a chance to reflect on your comments, research subjects, and of course, to consider any relevant legal codes and issues. We will set an alarm and cease reading at 3 minutes. We ask commenters to be civil, and those addressing the board are expected to observe a level of civility and decorum appropriate for a public meeting and refrain from vulgar, profane, or harassing remarks. The president of the board or other proceeding officers may terminate any presentation deemed not to adhere to these standards.
Thank you, Ms. Clemens. And I think I'm first up on the agenda.
Yep, you are first, Paula. Take it away.
Okay, thanks everyone. I'm Paula Bremen-Heger, the library's Kiva Jane Romaine Coombe Director. My report starts off with the good news that Ohioans have approved 100% of our public library levies. Ohioans do continue to express their support for libraries at the polls. This past May 3rd, they approved all of the public library levies on local ballots across the state. The successful library ballot issues included 3 renewals, 2 renewals with an increase, and a replacement. The levy passed by significant margin. The average voter.
Can you get the headphones?
Was 71%.
Headphones.
Okay.
Briefcase.
Moving on. Legislative update. On Monday, May 9th, we hosted our 3rd annual legislative breakfast at our Deer Park Ranch for our Hamilton County delegation of the Ohio General Assembly.
Briefcase.
The event is intended to give state legislators the opportunity to ask us about current library initiatives and to tell us about their upcoming goals and priorities. Legislators had a number of great questions. One of the big topics was, of course, our facility master plan. State legislators in attendance were Senator Lewis Blessing III and Representatives Tom Brinkman, Cedric Denson, Kevin Ingram, and Bill Seitz. 2 bills impacting public libraries received focus just prior to the General Assembly's summer recess here in June. Ohio Bill 140, HB 140, sponsored by Representative Derek Marin, was passed by the Senate after being unexpectedly brought up for a vote after several months of inactivity. This bill proposes conveying a property tax levies rate in dollars for each $100,000 of a county auditor's appraised value instead of in dollars for each 100 of taxable value, which is how we generally speak about them. It also requires election notice and ballot language to display the estimated amount the levy would collect annually. The OLC opposed HB 140 upon learning of plans for the bill to be passed out of the Senate Ways and Means Committee. I did reach out to Committee Chair Senator Blessing III to let him know of our concerns. OLC also testified in opposition in collaboration with the Ohio Township Association and Ohio Public School Districts. OLC will be reaching out to the governor to ask for the bill to be vetoed. There was also a possibility for HB 327, the divisive concept bill, to be scheduled for a House vote prior to General Assembly summer recess. Emails were sent to House Speaker Cupp and members of the Ohio House of Representatives reiterating concerns about the legislation. Although the bill did not move forward at this time, we will continue to work with OLC as they continue to monitor that. Both chambers have recessed for the summer and aren't likely to be back in session until after the November election, while they return for their lame duck session. Moving on, a little bit more about Ohio Library Council activities. We had a trustee and administrative dinner. Each spring, the OLC hosts dinners throughout the state for public library trustees and administrators. These events focus on the challenges and opportunities ahead for us in Ohio's public libraries and offer a venue for library trustees and administrators to share info and ideas with their counterparts. This year's Southwest dinner featured our special guest, State Representative Jessica E. Miranda from Forest Park, who spoke highly of the new Deer Park branch, which she cited as an example of a public library for the future. She also expressed her excitement about the upcoming Forest Park branch project. Trustees Christopher Hardin and Diane Redden were in attendance along with me. Ohio Governor's Imagination Library Millionth Book, the Millionth Book Celebration for OGIL in Hamilton County took place again at our Deer Park branch, popular place, in mid-May. The library's partnership with Cincinnati Public Schools, Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, and public libraries throughout our region featured First Lady Fran DeWine, Vice Mayor Jan-Michelle Lemon-Kearney, and Hamilton County Commission President Stephanie Summerall-Dumas. The First Lady launched the Ohio Governor's Imagination Library in Hamilton County in March of 2020, March 10th actually, at the Children's Hospital, and it's now in all 88 counties. Trustee Redden and I presented Mrs. DeWine with that resolution that y'all passed at our board meeting during our April meeting. So she was very appreciative of that. Urban Library Council Conference up in Cleveland. Library leaders from across North America convened in Cleveland just last week at the ULC Lesson from the Field event to share and discuss how public libraries can continue to enhance their roles as valuable partners and leaders in the community. The in-person meeting, Library Partnerships in a Post-COVID World, featured a variety of library thought leaders. I spoke as part of a panel discussing my perspective on fostering relationships to improve our library's work, role, and community contribution. I also attended an exclusive and great session for Ohio Metro Libraries on strengthening libraries through DEI that featured Melanie Huggins, PLA president, and Sonia, I always get her name wrong. You can see it there in writing. She's the PLA president-elect. They were wonderful. Our own development director presented at IPLF conference. Stacy Dennison, here at the table with me, Stacy giveaway, presented a session at the International Public Library Fundraising Conference. It actually happened on June 6th with board members from the Long Beach Public Library Foundation. The session, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Beyond the Optics, Fostering Belonging and Inclusion Through Governance. At the session, participants learned about strategies, factors for consideration, and perspectives from both organizations and their experience, as well as what role nonprofit governance can play to support and sustain diversity. Speaking of DEI, a little update here on our diversity, equity, inclusion, and culture. We continue to update policies to align with our DEI efforts And I have a group of staff in our Building Cultural Competence Cohort, a leadership development program to bridge divides and deepen understanding. Dr. Dees, who is our DEI&C director, has returned with her leadership planning for staff development days focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion are being made for multiple day sessions through August and September. Also, a little bit of late breaking news here. Cmha West End Transformational Plan. As mentioned in this past April's Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report, there is an evolving plan to redevelop the Cincinnati Metro Housing Authority's properties in the West End. Additional details have very recently been provided. I actually received this late Friday afternoon. They are pursuing a choice neighborhood effort. This includes potentially creating a next generation center as part of the redevelopment, which is a place-based initiative that creates opportunities for residents, preserves affordable housing, and strategically reinvests in the West End. That transformational team led by CMHA is working with the Cincinnati Rec Commission, us here at the library, the Cincinnati Museum Center, and Seven Hills Neighborhood Houses to identify possible partnerships in addition to the redevelopment of CMHA-owned sites in West End. This is planned to be a multi-year long-term plan, and we will continue to update the board and the community as more specifics are revealed, including how and if funding is secured for this ambitious plan. So I'll keep you posted on that. And finally here, Ms. Clemens, I do have a little bit of a summary. We have an update from Group 4, and representative from Group 4 is actually David Schnee here with us. He is one of the principals who developed our FMP. And we continue to work with them on a variety of projects, including the main library. And they're on hand, they're visiting us to review our projects. And also I asked David to just stop by and provide a brief update with a focus on the unusual market conditions impacting design and construction work here in our region and across the country. So David, take it away.
Thanks, Paula, and thanks President Clemens and trustees. And it's good to meet you, Trustee Harding as well. Look forward to being able to meet you face to face in the future. Okay, just a few brief remarks on these very volatile times we're in. First is about the obvious challenges that we're very aware of: market volatility, global, national, local impacts of that from inflation, the war in Ukraine impacting gas and transportation prices, lingering effects of COVID from California, where we're primarily based. It's going strong there. Supply chain disruptions. These are all things that are impacting our public clients across the country. In Washington, Texas, other projects we're doing here in Ohio, up in Cuyahoga County as well, and in California in particular, where prices are high to begin with. We're really all quite aware of this and having to pay attention to it. The second point is about response, like how our library is responding, and the best way is what your team here at Chpl is doing, and it's a collaborative process. I think you have a very savvy leadership team that really knows community values and what is the value of where to invest in. You have a very savvy facilities team. You have working with owners reps in the business trades, working with builders at the table with your CM risks, and architects who can be creative and all together deliver the optimal value. So I think that's very good. And the third point is honoring and safeguarding the public trust. And that means that still remaining true to the facility master plan principles that you established at the beginning of this process, making sure we're still striving for and achieving industry-leading excellence, maintaining operational sustainability, knowing how to have your staff deliver the best value, and of course, transparency. What this means is being clear with the community about what these challenges are, how you're responding, and managing expectations. In the workshops we've held today, we've been trying to be true to all of those 3 points about explaining those challenges and how we're responding and managing those expectations. That means some projects are going to cost more, some will take longer. We're going to have to adjust scope and timing for it while still being true to the goals. So today was an excellent day to say that we had just our project management team meeting for the main library, and Turner was able to confirm that through careful planning with appropriate contingencies and various alternates to allow us to adjust to this volatility. We were able to come up with a full package to proceed with the next general guaranteed maximum price package number 5 for the renovation here at the main library. And so there's a clear direction going forward, staying true. And so just to say, we're all in this together. Keep up the good work. We're all at your side, and optimistic about still being able to find the best path through this.
Thank you, David. Ms. Clemens, that concludes my report. Happy to entertain any questions. And the next thing on our agenda, I think, is Mr. Hendon with the Facilities Finance and Audit Committee. But if there are any questions, obviously David is here with us too.
All right, Mr. Hendon, we'll turn it over to you.
I think, Mr. Hendon, you might be muted. No. Yeah, but it doesn't. He might be muted from his phone. Molly, if you would like to do the report, we can see if we can help Mr. Hendon here unmute. But in the meantime, if you want to go ahead and kind of go through the report, I'll see if I can figure out how to give Mr. Hendon a. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to scroll though, because I don't have a hard copy with me.
Sure,
So,
sure.
Facilities Finance and Audit Committee met virtually on June 8th. Committee Chair Robert G. Hendon and committee members Nadine Allen and Gregory L. Olson were in attendance. Staff members Paula Bremheger and Molly DeFosse were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. On the main library project, the elevator replacement work is ongoing and the completion date has been modified to July 15th, 2022 to complete additional detail items. The North Plaza work is almost complete with the exception of the wall along Prior Alley, but that has now been installed. So, okay. Do you want me to let him go?
Yeah, Bob, if you can you go ahead and read from here? Are you able to hear us? I think we can now.
Okay. So
Okay, go ahead, talk, Mr. Hendon.
Can you hear me?
Molly, can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Okay, Mr. Hendon, go ahead. Oh, hold on one second. We had him for a sec.
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
You want me to keep going, Paula?
Yeah, you can. We'll see if we can. Yes. Go ahead, Molly.
The library is evaluating modifications of one of the bump outs to install new entry doors with a proper vestibule off of the North Plaza. We are planning to use the current available budget to complete the doors. The demolition of the South Plaza and basement is ongoing. The framing of the new perimeter wall is in process. So the first thing we have on here is to confirm the following change orders that have been approved by Paula. The first one is change order 4 to replace the existing vent pipes, $14,016. And the second one is number 5, additional fire suppression requirement, $44,936. In April of 2021, the overall main library project budget, the North Plaza, the Plaza basement demolition, and the completion of the social stair and interior renovations was set at $24 million. The GMP is
Do this right through the, if you want to do this through the phone, we can. I can just put you on speaker.
I'll stop for a second.
Bob, Molly was just on the section that is to accommodate the current GMP. Is that right, Molly?
Yeah.
On the second page, in the middle of the
Oh,
second
I'm a
page.
little bit, Paul, a little bit above that. The GMP is greater than the previous estimates.
So if you start at the top of the second page, I think we're good.
Thank you.
April 2021.
Yep.
In April 2021, the overall main library budget for the North Plaza basement demolition and completion of social stair and interior renovations was set at $24 million. GMP is greater than previously estimates based on market conditions and design refinement. As with the demolition GMP, this project is very complex and working in existing conditions will require each component of the social stair to be measured, fabricated, and installed in a linear space sequence. All right, we need to authorize Eva Jane Remain, Cove Director, to modify the current agreement with Turner Construction by GMP amendments to include the social stair and interior renovation. The GMP inclusive of the CMR fee and CMR contingency equal to or less than $18,500,000. To accommodate the current GMP for the social stair and interior renovations, requesting the following budget modification. Approve increase in main library project budget to $30.7 million. Below is a summary of the project based on the increase. Main budget, the FMP funding is $30 million. Private donations are $700,000. Total funding $30,700,000. North Plaza GMP $1,005,760. South Plaza and Curtain Wall GMP $5,184,542. Social stair glass, the interior renovations, $18,500,000. Total cost of construction, including all CMR fees and CMR contingencies, $24,690,302. Now, owner managed soft costs, furniture, fixtures, equipment estimate, $750,000. Technology estimate, $600,000. Public art, $215,000. Permits estimate, $400,000. Design team, $2,200,000. All consulting, owner rep, and design fees, $609,698. Current owner contingency of 5%, which is $1,235,000, or total budget of $30,700,000. As you may recall, we increased the transfer of the building repair fund at the end of 2021 by $4 million, resulting in an increase in PLF last year. Later in this report, we will be sharing an update on the 2022 funding. The additional funding supports the increase in the budget. We have recently added another component to the main project, which would be the funding from the capital maintenance dollars to the FMP. Walls around the north parking lot at the corner of Walnut and 9th Street need maintenance that pose several public safety issues. We are working with design professionals in turn to remove the brick walls and replace with decorative metal fencing. We expect this project to move quickly once we receive approval from the city. We hope to have the temporary barriers needed to begin demolition of existing walls installed this summer. We're requesting authorization for the UJ and Remain Cove Director to modify the current agreement with Turner Construction by a GMP amendment for this needed work and for the GMP code be confirmed at the next board meeting. Now, 2021 audit update. Waive the post-audit meeting given that the audit is almost complete. The library work staff is working to complete the annual comprehensive financial report. Currently, the auditors expect to issue a clean opinion, including GAS opinion, and there are no management letter comments. The auditors will still send out a draft opinion, GAS opinion, to each board member with an opinion request a meeting within 5 days of receiving the mail. Now, we need to vote on those issues. I move that we do that.
Second? Is there a second?
Second,
Diane, second.
Miss Allen?
here. Aye. Aye.
Miss Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Harding?
Yes.
Mr. Hendon?
Yes.
Miss Conan?
Yes.
Miss Redden?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, the 2022 capital maintenance project will We plan to begin with the work at Pleasant Ridge based on the severity of the issues there. We anticipate the GMP to be presented for the August 2022 board meeting, with the work to begin in September and continue for 4 months. The branch will be closed during this time. Most of the work involves overdue exterior maintenance, interior finish work to repair long existing plaster damage, and a few interior modifications to improve functionality. The corridor work is much more extensive. There's been water getting into the building for many years. The permanent building will be excavated so that the waterproofing can be done. There's a fair amount of interior work to repair the damaged walls. The interior will also receive paint and carpet. There will be some modifications along with next-gen library principles that improve the functionality and customer experience. We expect this work to begin in late 2022. Work is expected to last 6 months, or the branch will be closed during the work. Now, the price of branch accessibility, we're still working with final closeout documentation and a few remaining punch list items. Marymount Exterior Courtyard Project. This work will be completed by mid-June, and opening celebration will be scheduled shortly thereafter. Priceville Parklet. The exterior site improvement work is expected to begin this summer. Thanks to the support of Library Foundation, we'll be working with Artworks to find a local artist to create a piece for the space, which was installed in 2023. One Hills Branch Accessibility. The interior finish work continues. The exterior work has started. The branch opened by the end of September, by the end of the summer. We continue to work with a model group on opportunities to maximize the agencies for our 2 properties. Maximum branch accessibility. Construction is moving on quickly to build out the lease space. We continue to face coordination challenges with the landlord's contractor. Library and Megan Construction are working with Ackerman, the landlord, to resolve the issues in a timely manner and stay on schedule. Forest Park Branch Property Exchange, we're continuing with our due diligence on the property and working towards a property transfer of the City of Forest Park's parcel to the main library midsummer. Forest Park Branch Replacement. This design process is ongoing. We shared high-level conceptual designs with both Forest Park officials and the community. This plan involves, the plans include 25,000 square feet, almost 100 parking spots, and integrated exterior space. A drive-through window and most of the interior features of the next-gen library. In April 2022, the board approved Turner Construction as the Cmha for the branch project for 2022 through 2027, which include Forest Park. Library has worked with Turner Construction to partner with Megan Construction and Forest Park project. We're excited about the partnership and the value it will bring to the project. Now, Hyde Park Branch easement. The 2 easements to access the sewer line and library's parking lot were approved in April 2022. We're working to finalize the details of the site improvements. There will be a short 2-week disruption in the parking lot in August when the new sewer connection is made. Remember, the work will begin in mid-October and have to align this with the interior branch work. The Hyde Park Branch elevator replacement and renovation. Emerson, the project architect, has been working quickly on the renovation design to improve the location of the elevator and the overall branch accessibility. This plan will also incorporate as many of the next-gen library principles as possible. As noted above, we anticipate this work beginning mid-October. The branch will be closed during the renovations. Once details are finalized, the library team will work out the communication plan. Excuse me. Green Township Branch Refresh. On June 8th, 2022, bids for the Green Township Branch Refresh were received. This project was $314,850. Library bids ranging from $650,000 to $774,000. Library and the architect worked together to review the scope and rebid revised estimate and next few weeks. Energy retrofit project counterclaim. Hamilton County's prosecuting general office continues to represent the library in this matter. The second round of mediation was held at the end of April without any progress. Budget update. Overall, year-to-date expenditures are within budget. Year-to-date public PLF revenue through May 21st is almost $3.7 billion over projections. The additional PLF provides us with a cushion on the FMP projects to help offset cost increase for labor and delivery and premiums as a result of supply chain issues. We'll continue to monitor PLF and request resource modifications for the year. New accounting system update. As previously implementing the Tower Technologies Vinny's ERP solution to replace our current system, which has been in use since 2012. We've been working on the configuration for the last several months. We'll continue through the early fall. We will begin testing with implementation on January 1st, 2023. New system will provide us with improved workflow and reporting and result in less processing paper. We will implement electronic vendor payments as well as have improved transparency. The system will provide us with necessary tools to expand our DEI vendor initiatives. Now, here's the great news. Finally, Certificate of Achievement for Excellence of Financial Reporting Award. We were recently notified that the Government Financial Officers Association, United States and Canada, the GFOA, has awarded a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence of Financial Reporting for the library for annual comprehensive financial report in the fiscal year ended December 31, 2020. The report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and users groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of government, accounting, and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. The library has received this report every year since the first year it was completed in the mid-1990s. And that credit goes to Molly. Molly, thank you very much for that. I would also like to tour of the construction of the main library branch last week. It was really, really interesting. I would suggest that any other board members want to do that, get in touch with Paula, set up a time, and take a tour. That concludes my report. Hello?
Yeah,
Thank you, Ms.
You got it. You got it. Ms. Clemens?
Thank you, Mr. Hendon. Oh, I'm sorry, Molly, was that you?
I think we go on to Judge Allen with the HR committee now.
Yes, Judge Allen, please.
All
We're
right.
ready.
Let me pull up this report. Greetings, everyone. And this report is from the Human Resources Committee, and I'll indicate that the Chief Operating Officer is Kyla Hart, and she's here if we have any questions from her. So the Human Resources Committee met on June 3rd. Committee Chair Nadine Allen was in attendance, and the committee members Diane Cunningham-Redden and Christopher A. Harding were in virtual attendance. Staff members Paula Bram-Heger, Kyla Hardin, and Holbrook Sample were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board accept the following recommendations. We are making some 3 major updates and changes and improvements for our employees, and they are something to be proud of. Let me find the first one. Is this the policy updates? The goal for 2022 is to review and revise outdated policies in an effort to ensure that they are clear, concise, and reflect the current practices of the library. We request approval of the attached policy updates and changes. The revised policies are attached as follows. Reasonable accommodations policy, which is proposed policy Exhibit A. The current policy Exhibit B is also attached. Paid time off policy, Proposed policy is proposed policy Exhibit C. The current policy is Exhibit D. And flexible work arrangement policy. The proposed policy is Exhibit E, and the current policy is Exhibit F. The reasonable accommodations policy, we are recommending that it will align with the policy with our current practices and have included updated language that reflects our organizational structure. Paid time off policy, to align our paid time off policy with our parental leave policy, we are recommending, can you pull it up all right there? Give me.
Sure.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We are recommending the addition of parental leave to be considered hours worked. And that's described at number 1 in the general provisions section in the PTO policy. The effect of it is that this change will allow staff to accrue paid time off while using the parental leave benefit. So I mean, I kind of explained that to me last time. It means that it's beneficial to families with children, and that they will also while using that time also receive paid time off. Under the flexible work arrangement policy, in an effort to communicate expectations for staff who have approved days of remote work as a part of their flexible work arrangement agreement, we are recommending, in addition to clarify expectations during inclement weather. Like earlier today, we got an email, we all got notice from Paula that several libraries had to shut down. We're recommending, in addition to clarify expectations during inclement weather and other days of unexpected library closings. Staff with this flexible work arrangement have the ability to perform the essential functions of their position in a remote capacity, and they will be expected to work during circumstances of unexpected library closing. So that happened today, did it not?
Yes, it did. We had several locations without power due to the storm last night, and got to be about 90 degrees around noon, so we closed them. So you're right about that, Judge Allen.
And I thought about this, and the fact is that some things never ended. Our essential functions were not disrupted. So that's very good. At this time, I'm making a motion that the board approve these new policies, proposed policies.
Okay.
May I have a second?
Okay, I got Mr. Harding as a second.
Okay.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Clements.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second, Molly. Mr. Hendon has a question.
Okay.
Time off policy. When I read this, if someone is on parental leave benefit, they still get to accrue personal time off?
Yes, it's 4 weeks. We have 4 weeks of the leave for that purpose. And so during that, they are not rolled off of receiving their benefits. In the same way, if someone takes, like if I take PTO, Bob, if I go on vacation, I continue to earn benefits even though I'm on vacation.
Right.
So so we're aligning it with the way that our sick time works and our PTO works. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to serve the public and parents and families.
Okay.
So
you want me to finish with the vote?
Yeah, sure, Molly.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Ms. Conan,
Yes.
Ms. Redden.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now get that.
And now we'll move it.
Yeah, let me get that. There you go. Okay.
Okay, move it up a little bit more. This is for informational items only. The main library subsidy, due to the additional costs that staff incur from working at the main library, we are investigating the possibility of a main library subsidy. We are currently in conversation with other downtown organizations to benchmark best practices and to assess what may be feasible for our organization. We plan to have more information to share at the upcoming August board meeting. And so when we had our committee meeting, is that it's, for those who may wonder what we're talking about, when you work downtown at the main library, not only are you traveling more mileage often, and gas prices have gone up, but they also have to often pay for parking. So I think it's great that if we can come up with some best practices to address that. Summer Youth Employment Program. This summer, the library is partnering with the Tavern House to participate in the Summer Youth Employment Program. The goal of this program is to provide opportunities for youth to gain valuable work skills in good learning environments. The library currently plans to have youth working at the Groesbeck and Price Hill branches through this program. And benefits waiting period for new staff. As part of our work around investing in staff, we are investigating the possibility of amending our contracts with medical, dental, life, and voluntary carriers so that the eligible staff will be able to enroll in benefits on the first day of the month after 30 days of hire. This potential change would shorten the period for staff, as they currently must wait until the first of the month after 60 days of hire to become benefits eligible. We plan to continue to work with our carriers to understand if this change is feasible, and we'll share information around this potential change at the August board meeting. Does that conclude, Paul? I don't see anything else to read.
That's
Okay,
right.
that concludes
You're good.
my report.
Okay.
All right, our next report is Ms. Conan.
Thank you, Ms. Clemens. All right, so we have the Development Committee report, and thanks to Stacy Dennison, the Chief Development Officer, who I understand is in the office as well. So a report about the Friends of the Public Library. In order to document that working relationship with the Friends, we've updated the management agreement, and it's being recommended as shown in Exhibit I. The updated draft has modest changes from the agreement that was adopted in 2017, which is attached as Exhibit 2I. Those changes include the removal of references to the Friends shop at the main library, modification to logistic and operational services provided, and updates to payment processes. The annual fee for services remains the same. This agreement has been created in consultation with the Friends Executive Director and will be presented to the Friends Board for approval at their next meeting. I'd like to request a motion that we accept the recommended agreement updates.
Second,
Ms. Allen,
yes.
Ms. Clemens,
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Ms. Conan,
Yes.
Ms. Redden.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have a few information only items. Like to recognize that the library has been the grateful recipient of several gifts since April, including a sizable bequest distribution for the Hyde Park branch. We are also currently in discussions with the donor for the Marymount branch regarding naming the patio space per the library's naming policy. In conjunction with the Mary S. Stern Lecture Committee and Library Foundation, we are excited to announce the 2022 lecturer, Walter Isaacson. Isaacson will be discussing his latest book, The Code Breaker, Jennifer Doudna, Gene Editing, and the Future of the Human Race.
Awesome.
Yeah, should be very
Awesome.
exciting. The Library Foundation has been a grateful recipient of several significant gifts. First, from the Marge and Charles Schott Foundation for Discover Summer, Mr. and Mrs. James Dempsey for the Genealogy and Local History Department, various matching gifts from the GE Foundation, Cincinnati Incorporated Foundation for the Harrison Branch, and Franklin P. Cromer. The Foundation Spring Campaign was a great success with a 33% increase in donations over the previous year. The goal of this year's campaign was to increase branch-specific support through Befriend a Branch giving. Gifts to this effort had a 58% increase over the previous year. Nice work.
Nice.
The Friends of the Public Library have allocated a 19% increase in funding to support library programs and initiatives for the year. The library has not received this level of support from the Friends in many years, and the Friends have a new revenue model that does not rely on one-time big sales, instead relying on weekly sales, online marketing, and social media strategies. which I think have been successful. The last item I have is with respect to the Anderson Township Library Association. So on June 26th through the 28th, the Anderson Township Library Association will host their 42nd sale at Nagel Middle School. In preparation for the sale, the group hosted a donate day at the Anderson Branch Library on April 30th, where 2 library box trucks were filled with materials from 170 donor vehicles. Again, awesome news. And that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you, Ms. Conan. So Mr. Olson is unable to be with us today. So Monica, I believe you're up again.
Okay, let me go to the technology report. Give me just a minute here. All right. Thank you, Holbrook, Chief Technology and Logistics Officer. Appreciate the report here. So the chpl.org, on June 15th, the library is changing its domain name from cincinnatilibrary.org to chpl.org, as discussed in our October 21 board report. The library's website will be chpl.org. Library staff email addresses will follow the structure. For example, holbrook.sample@chpl.org. The reasons for this change include, one, it's easier to remember and faster to type than the current address.
Thank you.
That means there are fewer opportunities for typos. chpl.org is inclusive of both the city and the county. And as a note, those who continue to use cincinnatilibrary.org will be automatically redirected to the new web address. We have news about an IMLS grant with Cincinnati Museum Center. As reported in the October 20 board report, the library contributed significantly to the application for the 2-year Institute of Museum and Library Services IMLS grant awarded to the Cincinnati Museum Center. The library submitted the joint proposal with the CMC to help bridge the digital divide. The grant focuses on youth in kindergarten through 5th grade and seniors in 5 neighborhoods: Avondale, Price Hill, St. Bernard, West End, and Westwood. 2021 saw the distribution of tech bundles that included a Chromebook, hotspot, and accessories. For 2022, the grant is funding workforce-related bundles with laptops and interview accessories. Also, the St. Bernard branch will be the beneficiary, of a laptop kiosk to get tech into the hands of the branch's many younger customers and the seniors that visit regularly. So now we'll go to 2022 Books by the Banks Author Festival. So after a 2-year pandemic hiatus, BDTV is set to announce its return to the Duke Energy Center on November 19th. The festival features both regional and national authors and makes their books available for signing and sale. Beyond meeting and talking with the authors, festival goers can attend panel discussions, a kids' corner, a teen scene featuring authors and activities. The 2022 event will be a restart with about half the authors and panels than previous years to allow for more distance between people. The library has spearheaded the efforts of the festival going back to its inception in 2006. This year, we will collaborate with other libraries and institutions that are increasing their contributions of time and resources to take a greater share of responsibility for the success of the festival. And that concludes my report on technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Conan. Next, we have Ms. Redding for our Operations Committee report, please.
Thank you, Ms. Clemens. This operations report is informational only. Thank you, Brett Bonfield, COO. Featured manager is Ebony Gordon, Manager of Public Safety. Ebony Gordon is our Public Safety Manager and has been with the library since September 2021. Ebony started in the safety and security field more than 20 years ago, working as the operations manager for Paramount Kings Island, where she led the security, environmental services, and front gate operations team. She then went to the Duke Energy Convention Center, where she managed the security team, developed the company's disaster preparedness and response plan, conduct workplace violence prevention training, and led threat assessments for visiting diplomats and presidential candidates. As the leader of our public safety team, Ebony is continuing the work she loves by fostering a positive environment where every customer and staff member can enjoy the library and have confidence in their safety. This includes developing emergency crisis and evacuation plans and drills for all of our locations. And now a few comments from Ebony.
And Ebony, I'll just kind of turn this and maybe we can pick it up a little bit. There you go. Okay.
Hello, I'm Ebony Gordon, Public Safety Manager for CHPL. To the board members of Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library, thank you so much for having me today. Almost 9 months ago, I joined CHPL after leading the security team at the Duke Energy Convention Center for over 15 years. Although this leap was one that took great consideration, I am so happy that I made the decision to join the CHPL team. It is beyond my wildest dreams to be able to work within an organization where I not only get to exercise my love for all things safety and security, but my passion for simply wanting to help people. None of this would be possible without the trust, hard work, and dedication of these true professionals who are here with me today. I couldn't thank you all enough for trusting me to lead the public safety team within this great organization. My time here at CHPL has been filled with many opportunities. We have continued to build our relationships with local police departments and school officials, which has aided in our ability to manage our after-school crowds and offer services that keep children safe and productive. We have worked with other organizations, including 3CDC and Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health, to provide services to customers who are dealing with drug dependency, mental health issues, or experiencing homelessness. These efforts and many more have been key to delivering on CHPL's mission, vision, and values. Looking to the future, my goal for public safety is to continue to provide a safe environment for our internal and external customers. Given some of the events we have seen around the world lately, my team and I have been taking a deeper look at our emergency plans. In the coming weeks, we will release revised plans where necessary and provide training exercises to ensure that our teams are confident and well-versed in the event of an emergency. The safety of our customers and staff is always our top priority. Thank you again for inviting me to share some of the key efforts of the public safety team.
Thank you, Ebony. Workforce development.
Any questions for Ebony before we move on? She's right there. Okay.
Workforce development in Covedale and Price Hill. The Covedale and Price Hill branches are expanding workforce development activities at their locations thanks to a grant from the Johnson Foundation. These branches regularly support community members who seek assistance with technology access for professional or business meetings. Additionally, customers who are either just starting a business or who are already small business owners frequently request assistance with marketing support, including help with tasks like printing business cards, creating professional banners and posters. Branch programming and purchases made with funding provided by the Johnson Foundation will provide customers with essential technology and interview materials, as well as language instruction when needed. CHPL participates in Office of the U.S. Surgeon General Focus Group. On April 14, 4 staff members participated virtually in a focus group hosted by the Office of the U.S. Attorney General's Innovation and Design Team, which wanted to understand more about misinformation regarding COVID-19. Staff were asked to share their professional experiences and feelings of being frontline workers during the pandemic, along with their impressions of the role libraries play in sharing health information with the communities they serve. Harrison Branch hosts Vietnam Veterans Recognition Event. The Harrison Branch hosted its first Vietnam Veterans Recognition Event on May 25th in partnership with the Military Officers Association of America. The event included 19 local living veterans and 1 deceased, along with families and friends of the veterans. The ceremony recognized veterans from all military branches and provided a commemorative medal from the group. Many of their participants had never been honored for their service in Vietnam. The next is visit to Cleveland Public Library. 7 members of the management team for the main library, along with Chief Operating Officer Brent Bonfield and Chief Technologies and Logistics Officer Holbrook Sample, visited the Cleveland Public Library. Like CHPL, Cleveland's main library is two grand buildings, and their approach to making them work together provided numerous ideas for our renovation and subsequent service model. Several of their initiatives around youth service and community-based programming could benefit our customers, and the way they make use of their special collections helps clarify our thinking around the new local stories area that will be featured on the renovated second floor of the main library south building when it reopens for public service. We look forward to the fall when Cleveland public staff, library staff, will visit us in Cincinnati. Free tax prep. For the second year in a row, we partnered with United Way of Greater Cincinnati to offer free tax preparation in several branches that had not previously offered these services, adding 6 locations to our longstanding partnership with AARP at the main library and North Central branch. The additional locations were Groesbeck, Harrison, Madisonville, Price Hill, Reading, and Westwood. During the recent tax season, 748 individuals and families received tax assistance at library locations, and our customers' aggregate 2021 tax refund was more than $1.1 million. The United Way again proved to be an outstanding partner, helping to staff all library locations other than the main library and North Central, along with Ernst & Young, Kroger, which provided volunteers at Groesbeck, GE Aviation, which provided volunteers at Reading, and Santa Maria Community Services, which provided volunteers at Price Hill and Westwood. Avondale manager graduates from Impact U. Kaya Bergen, Avondale branch manager, recently graduated from Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, Impact U Class 7. Impact U is a 6-month hands-on course designed to provide local leaders with an in-depth understanding of improvement science and build a broader community of improvement leaders to enable sustained positive change. The course leverages a curriculum CCHMC has used for over 16 years to develop hundreds of leaders to manage whole system improvement. The curriculum is tailored to support improvement in community systems that impact children and families. OCRC charges dismissed. On May 2nd, the library received an OCRC letters of determination for both the original and amended charges filed by Derek Blazingame against the main library. Both charges were dismissed. Great news. And back to Ms. Clemens, unless there's some questions.
I don't have a question, Ms. Redden, but I will say that on my recent visit to Cleveland Public Library for that Urban Libraries Council conference, more than 2 or 3 Cleveland staffers said, "Cincinnati, I love those people from Cincinnati." And they really enjoyed that staff exchange, and they have a very high bar for hosting. When I was there, they took us to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and their director, Felton Thomas, invited Brett to speak to their board. And so when they come down and see us in the fall, we may be inviting some of you to chat with them as well. So I was really wanted to make sure you knew how much they appreciated the exchange and how impressed they were with our staff.
Great. And not a word about Kenton County, right?
Not a word, right? Oh,
Yay!
We love you, Dave. At Kent County, we do. Come over, exchange anytime. Okay.
Over to Ms. Clemens.
All right, so lastly, we have Mr. Harding for our strategy committee chair and for our strategy report, please.
Last but not least, all right. Strategic planning update. An all staff survey ran for 2 weeks to collect feedback to help shape the focus for an intensive 1.5-day workshop that took place on May 18th through the 19th. The first day of the workshop engaged members of the library's Community Advisory Council and library staff from the following groups: Senior Leadership Team, Strategic Planning Implementation, Communications and Engagement Team, and tomorrow's managers. The second day was comprised of only the staff groups. For next steps, Eric Mead, the consultant who is coordinating the strategic planning process, is reviewing findings from the workshop to utilize in drafting a framework for the strategic plan. There will be a drop-in session that'll be organized in June that all staff are welcome to participate in, with the focus on gathering ideas related to the themes that emerged from the workshop. And we will eventually reconvene the Community Advisory Council in July to provide feedback on the draft. Strategy, division realignment. To better To be better positioned to serve the community and support other library divisions, the Strategy Division has reorganized existing positions to create a new communications department, which will focus on both internal and external communications. The department will consist of the communications manager, social media specialist, content specialist, videographer, and internal communications coordinator. This change creates the opportunity to provide more system-wide support to communications and related new technologies as these continue to emerge. Customer service training. This spring, over 200 library customer advisors, LCAs, and library customer specialists, LCSs, have participated in customer service training. Staff took a deep dive into our customer experience philosophy of "you belong here." Staff engaged in journey mapping, which is a way to visually represent, reflect, and recommend improvements on a single or shared customer journey. The training addressed the barriers our customers face and how to resolve them. The highlight of each session has been the featured LCA or LCS speaker sharing their perspectives on customer experience. The work will also help to inform the development of CHPL customer experience model later this year. An additional round of training for LCAs and LCSs will take place in the fall. CHPL's Summer Learning and Reading Program, Discover Summer, began on June 1st and runs through August 1st. This year, youth aged 0 to 18 from across the county are invited to keep learning all summer by setting their own goals and exploring their interest by engaging with the library resources and activities. Every young person who participates receives a free book, an activity booklet, and families of preschool children also receive a calendar of daily literacy activities. Families can stop by any library location to get their summer packets. As young people work towards their Discover Summer goals, they can earn badges and become eligible for prizes provided through the support of the Library Foundation. Select library locations are providing free meals and snacks to youth ages 0 through 18, and all locations are hosting in-person activities and events to keep kids learning and developing social emotional skills. We can learn more at chpl.org/summer.
Mr. Harding, I just have one quick thing. Andy, who many of the trustees know, is our administrative coordinator, and he bugged me to remind all trustees to complete your survey so you can get your summer reading t-shirt. I just got mine and you will not be disappointed. So if you have not done so, please do so. Thank you.
That's great.
I'll get, Mr. Hendon, I'll have Andy call you and he can tell you how to do it. We can get it under control. And anybody else who isn't sure, I'll make Andy call you because he really wants you to get your t-shirts.
Yeah, put me on that list.
Absolutely.
Here's some other upcoming events. Youth education and engagement, Vibe and Flow, sharing songs that speak to you for teens, which will be held on June 23rd at the Deer Park branch. Impact of interventions for children with Cincinnati Museum Center on June 28th. That'll be with the Anderson branch. And Teen Hobby Swap, June 28th at the Harrison branch. We also have some adult educational life skill classes, workforce development office hours will be hosted on June 14th at the Price Hill branch. Breaking the Silence, a class on conversations, June 16th, which will be an online event. And for our arts and cultures, we have a Lost Cincinnati concert venues of the 50s and 60s, from the Surf Club to Ludlow Garage, from June 17th at Motor Pub downtown. That sounds pretty fun. The Cultural Center of India, Bollywood Beat, June 28th. That'll be held at Sims Township branch. And Electric Guitar Petting Zoo, which will be held on June 29th at the Marymount branch. And lastly, our marketing campaign. Our spring awareness campaign ran from April 4th to May 22nd on Cincinnati Bell, YouTube, and TV, which set top boxes such as Roku and Apple TV, web banner ads, digital billboards and displays, social media, and streaming radio. That's a lot. The campaign was intended to increase awareness about CHPL with the hope to increase in-person visits. Initial projections were that we would receive over 2 million impressions and have 600 TV ads run. Once again, the campaign outperformed the projections with more than 2.6 million impressions and over 1,400 TV ads aired. The ads aired on networks such as BET, CNN, E! Network, ESPN, the Food Network, Freeform, HGTV, Lifetime, MSNBC, MTV, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. The results for CHPL are year-to-year increases for April and May, and here are the calculations there. The circulation of it up 3.1%, up visits 55.9%. From PC users, we've got it upward of 54%, and people on Wi-Fi 63%. So those are our increases. With the success of the past two campaigns, we are hoping to run another during National Library Card Sign-Up Month in September. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harden. All right. I think we are, a motion to approval of the consent items, please.
Diane, I'll make a motion.
Second? Can I have a second?
Can we do a all in favor
Second.
vote on that one, Molly?
Yeah, but I did I get a second? I don't have anybody down.
Second.
Okay, all right, and then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Got a second, anyone?
Second.
Diane will second.
All in
All right.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Have a great rest of your evening and stay cool.
Thank you.